Welcome back, welcome back. Hope you guys doing alright. It's one of my last videos. That doesn't mean real soon, hopefully. But it comes in every man's life. You know, I once heard this. I don't know if it's true yet, but I'm starting to believe it. Where the guy, I think it was a Batman movie or some shit. Guy says, you either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Now, me personally, I kind of didn't understand that shit. I really didn't. I thought it was like a bad guy's way of, like, chipping away at your spirit of being good. And then, you're like, well, what's the fucking point? If I live long enough, I'm gonna be a bad guy. It's not that because you live long you become bad. It's because if you're trying to be a hero, then you're making a lot of fucking problems, And when you make problems and you reach your hero status, now hero status can be many different things, You don't need to flip cars. You don't have to run out here and chase criminals, Being a good man and passing on your knowledge, showing your kindness, being there for others, being a fucking good man and having a family, that literally makes you a hero. Because the bar is so low, And that's not to shit on anybody, because the bar being low means, we all share in the bar lowering. So if you take it personal, well, fuck you, because, I kind of helped out lowering that bar in some way, So you take that on the chin like me, and you say, what next? Anyway, it's just a metaphor. So don't go out here and get yourself hurt. But now I understand why it was said in that superhero movie. Because in that world or the real world, just killing you or injuring you, they can make you a martyr if they get rid of you, and then someone takes your fucking place. They don't want that to happen, Hurting you makes you come back if you don't get too hurt, So if you're a hero, usually heroes are people that have nothing, People will look at, like, Batman's the best example. People will be like, he's rich, he's this. They took his childhood from him and his parents. He's just rich. The fire that every man in the world has to go through, he forced himself to go through it and trained his body, trained his mind. He didn't sit back and say, I'm fucking rich and I don't have to worry about nothing because I got Uncle Alfred here to teach me how to use this money. I have plenty of other people that are going to guide me. I can just do whatever I want. Be a rich guy. But that wasn't good enough for him. That wasn't enough. Because having riches and no family, I guess that sucks. So in his broken mind, he was willing to become a hero and try to save a couple other people that may have to deal with those type of tragedies and, go the other way. Because not everybody turns into Batman. Most people turn into the Joker. Or a lesser version, And all the heroes really do die early. You don't hear of a hero, cop, hero. I mean, there are some that survive these things, but, lately, that was nice of that guy to let me go for that. You can die a semi-hero. Like I just said, being a good man makes you a fucking hero nowadays. A lot of people, I realize, miss their hero moments just by doing little things, I've been called, and this is not to brag because it's really pathetic. Sound the horns, my daddy's in the building. See, when I get called an angel or a hero, it bothers me because I don't have enough to actually do anything to fucking get somebody up off, I only can give little bits of information, some fucking whack ass bit of food, or some little bit, little $5, $10, maybe $20, some bullshit, right? That doesn't do anything for anybody. It just gets them through that moment. That's why I learned to, breathe life into people. And it doesn't always work, but it worked a couple times, and that's why I keep doing it, right? Sound the horns. And I realized, like a lot of men in this real world have died heroes trying to, do the right thing. And it's so sad that they are forgotten. So, if you're going to be a hero in this world, don't just decide to throw on the fucking Justice League outfit and don't think you're not going to lose. You can win. You can have the God's protection. And you can do all those good things. But to be a hero means you're alone. Either it's too dangerous and no woman's want to be with you, or you're a secret hero and you do shit and, people don't trust you. Being a good guy is a bad guy in the wrong spots. So it's really it's a complex saying, but I definitely understand it. Many men have died heroes, all the soldiers, all the nurses, doctors, all these people that actually breathe life into people and give life and stayed regular. You don't have to flip a call. Just staying regular makes you a hero. Every fucking successful delivery of a baby, that's not just a person delivering a baby. He fucking gave another life. That's a hero. Get it? You'll never hear people or see people treat these people like heroes, even though they're responsible for us being here. But the heroes, nonetheless, just like the cops, firemen, and all these other things. I remember when I was growing up, being these things got you at least a decent amount of money, enough to make you want to do the job. And then you actually got respect. You weren't the greatest. Let's look at him as the everything. But you were actually somebody, Now I see people just be things and no one congratulates them. I rarely see a cop or someone saying, cop, thank you. And you'd be like, for what? For being a cop, so I don't have to. Thanks for patrolling these streets. I do that. You know why? Because I know what it's like to be out here. I know what it's like to take that risk just to say something, to stop something. I know what it's like to be regular. And the evil considers you a hero. So they pick and they nag and they sabotage you. First thing they do is go after your image, There's a very thin line between a hero and a villain. You know, that's why they. I think that's the point of whoever made the Batman story. I think that's the one thing they kept trying to fucking specify multiple times. Like, similar things can happen to people, and your choices is what makes you choose to go down which road. And unfortunately, you know, being rich doesn't always make people not become the Joker. You know, I've met so many people that are the Joker in small ways. Like, they won't kill, you know, but they'll lie to everyone and everything around them to live in a false illusion so they can feel, not be, feel better than someone else. You know? I'd rather be better than feel false feelings. Why? Why do you think they have to keep refreshing, fucking sabotaging your character? The strangest thing I've ever seen is, or understood about this world, is we literally live in a world where being a asshole or a bad guy's like the cool thing. So it's like, why is everybody fucking hiding? You know? It's like being a racist. I've met so many white people in my life that was good to me, helped me, you know? That when the others come, it just doesn't even make sense to me. Because most of the times, the hatred, I really wonder where it comes from. Like, I truly believe if I was on the opposite end of my hater, I would know that this is a waste of time. You know? But if I was on the opposite end, I would actually get to see what their life is like. And when I see that they probably really don't have nothing else to do, when I see the real reason, whatever it is, you know, then I would understand. Because being on the other side of the field, I can make sense of why people do things at some level to gain ahead, you know, to get tangible things. Blatantly just hating someone just to hate them and turn people against them, it doesn't make you a better person. 9 times out of 10, the people you're trying to perform this act for, they already know who you are. They don't care you're pretending because they know if they go along with it, they get shit for free. You get it? It's like, I don't know. I'd have to think about when I was younger and could hold grudges over stupid shit. It's been so long, you know? Like back then, being younger, could understand you got something to prove, your fucking feelings is hurt, you know? Or you're just jealous. But growing older and actually learning made me see another side of things. Some people are programmed. They were taught this. They were abused. It's all they have ever known. Doesn't matter, it's your supervisor, you know? You think just because your boss is your boss that before he wasn't a boss? You don't think he might have had a bad dad that beat him up? You don't think he got bullied in school? You get it? I realize so many people can't let go of things. And that's why they grow to become villains. They had their chance to be a hero, you know? They get the good job, they get people that like them and all these things, and then it's their time to be a hero. And what do they do with it? They blow it all the time. They just waste the opportunity. They get what they want and then be like, "Oh shit, I don't know what to do with it. Now what do I? What? How do we grow from here? How do I push this thing that I stole? This lifestyle? This, you know?" And it never goes anywhere. It's just people playing games till they're fucking dead. And that's very, very sad. So, for people that particularly don't like me that watch this stuff, understand that somebody loves you. And I know that sounds strange, but maybe one day you'll understand. You know? Maybe you'll see through your abuse of me and me not changing into a bitter, hating ass person. Maybe you'll understand you could have did that too. And with your job and your popularity, you could be way better than I ever could. Get it? All these 4 years of fighting for a shitty job and living in a fucking room. And people trying to take that from me. So they can feel good. There's nothing you're unless people been getting paid. That's the only way people can gain anything from this is being paid. Other than that, you're just getting the high school town. Look at us, we run this shit, yo. You know what I'm saying? We run this. And look at all the problems. Soon you people will understand defeating me won't stop my father from coming for your life. And making it just as hard as mine is in certain ways. See, most people don't believe in the Lord's vengeance because they're like, he didn't do it, he's not doing what we did to you. That's because those things that you did are things that are that's my test, my trial. You may not care about being left alone. You may not care about if people figure out your lies. You have a good position or some shit. People around you are liars. They're not gonna give a fuck. You get it? So my father can't attack you that way. It will do nothing. But there's always something all of us want. You know? There's always things in life. You know? Like being innocent and not getting fucked with. Well, I keep trying to constantly say this to people because it's real. If you destroy innocent people, maybe when you want someone, around you that's innocent and they go through a whole bunch of shit, maybe when one of your family members, maybe 10 years from now when your daughter grows up and that really fucking tragic thing happens. And you're like, she's innocent. She doesn't deserve this. The Grammy doesn't deserve this. You're gonna think back and you're gonna understand, yes, they do. That's what eye for an eye is. That's why my father sent men like me down here that can endure and just live through a shitty life of having to take this. So when the wheel turns you won't be able to say why, how, God. You'll know why. And it'll be too late then. You've already destroyed me. You've already set me back another 10 fucking years. Good thing my father taught me to want nothing and aim towards a simple life. You know? It's said that it's not good enough for a Negro. To, to, to the world to make you feel like they don't like you. So you're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna go off and sit in the corner then. I don't give a fuck. There's other things besides these goofy ass games people are playing. You know? I look back on all of you and pray you learn. Because the things you do, the ones around you, you know, the little ones, the younger next generation, they're watching you. You know? And you may be that example. You know? You may be the one they look back upon and say, what the fuck did you do? What did you do? Where I know I've been good all this time. Why the fuck does these things keep happening? They're gonna be just like me. You get it? And they're gonna have to endure. Or you just tell them to keep on paying those bills and keep bribing so they keep getting out of jail and shit. Which that won't teach them not to do bad things. That'll teach them that they can do any fucking thing they want. And then they'll do that real bad thing. You know? So, I keep telling my adversaries, my enemies, I don't know what kind of fucking man of the Lord you think I am. The Lord didn't send me here to preach to good people. There would be no point in that. I'm here to warn you people. You think you're winning until my Father comes to collect. I'm just one of many of his people. You know? So, I know I'm doing my job. I may slip at it, but I know I've left people alone long enough and still gotta deal with this bullshit. I ain't dying a hero. Because I'm done with trying to do good for other people. I'm do good for myself and just learn to stay the fuck away from everything and call the cops on everybody. You know? Unfortunately, it's all a good man can do. And as a black man, you gotta double that. You gotta keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on. All love, all praise to the